Okay, so here's just a quick introduction to Harmony 13A. And in Harmony 13A, we're dealing with secondary dominants of 2 and of 5. Now, if that sounds scary, it really shouldn't sound scary to you. First of all, we're dealing with these in isolation right now. And second of all, this is the first time that we've really dealt with chromatic notes within our harmonic progressions, which makes it very, very easy. If you hear a chromatic note that doesn't belong in the key, then it's a dead giveaway that you're hearing some kind of secondary dominant. So the things that you want to listen for, here's our temporary key that we're going to talk about this in. And so you might hear, so there's now that was not notes that are normally in the key, right? So if you listen for D, the solfege syllable D, if you hear that anywhere in the chord, that's a dead giveaway that you are hearing a secondary dominant right now for the 2 chord, a secondary dominant of 2. And then you'll just have to figure out which one it is. Right now, that's a dead giveaway because of how we're limited. Similarly, if you hear a phi, that's a dead giveaway that you've got some kind of secondary dominant going on of 5. And you just have to figure out which one. So which ones are we going to consider? Well, these are the 3 basic chords that we're going to consider as secondary dominants right now. We will listen for a 7 diminished 7 of 2, 5, 1. We will also listen for 5 of 2. There's still that D, Re, and we'll also listen for 5, 7. Still that D, Re, there's our 2, and 5, and 1. Good. So you'll hear those in different inversions, of course. So you'll still have to listen for the quality of the chord and the inversion of the chord. But if you hear D somewhere in the chord, you know you've got a secondary dominant of 2. Great. Similarly, if you hear Phi, so here's our chord, our key again. And if you hear, that's not a 2 chord, it's because it's major. There's got that phi in it, and that means that it is a 5 of 5. Throw a 7 in there to make it a dominant 7, bring us back to 1. And we also might listen for a 7 diminished 7 of 5, 5, 1. And we might listen for, oh yes, the quality issue, 5, 7 of 5, 5, 7, 1. Good. So when you're doing the exercises, just listen for D. That tells you that you've got some kind of secondary dominant of 2. All you have to do is figure out what the quality of the chord is, and you'll know which kind of secondary dominant you've got. Similarly, listen for Phi. So key Phi. That means you've got, if you hear that somewhere in the chord, in these exercises, it means you've got some kind of secondary dominant of 5, and you just need to listen for the quality of the chord to tell which kind it is. So your options are a 5, 7 of 5, a 5 of 5, or a 7 diminished 7 of 5. Okay? Not all that difficult. So go and do the exercises and see if you can hear them. Okay? Good luck practicing.